I'm an acrylic painter. It is something that I'm fairly comfortable with. I've been working with it for quite a while, and I've always really wanted to try oils, but I'm not sure that I have the patience for it. So I've been really intimidated by this. I like the quickness of acrylic painting, the instant gratification. I'm not great at waiting. But I've been curious for a while, and I ran across something new that I think might kind of help me be interested enough to give it a try. They are called oil sticks, paint sticks, pigment sticks. It seems that there are several different names for this, but this is what I purchased. They are Shiva artist paint sticks, and from what I can deduce from all of my online researching on this after I saw them being used and thought, wow, that's really cool, is that they're basically oil paint mixed with wax to make kind of a crayon. As you can see, I've already been playing with these, but today, after doing a little bit of play in what you can see maybe behind here a little bit, I want to walk you through some steps that I think might be good for playing with these and just kind of give you some, I guess, second impressions, because quite honestly I had no idea what I was doing the first time, and let's see if we can make something neat. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do an acrylic underpainting. I've seen this done in many of the research videos, as well as from some of the artists that I like to follow. They do this, and that's to get a really good layer of coverage that we can get and will dry almost immediately as kind of our background, and then we can do more of the fluffier areas with the oil later. I decided to do this painting in an abstract style because I find when I'm doing some experimenting with new supplies, mediums, that type of thing, it really takes the pressure off. So this is going to be kind of just free form with some colors that I enjoy. The main supplies I'm using are brushes, oil sticks, a palette. I create my own using old picture frame glass, some cardboard, and masking tape. Gamsol to clean our brushes. I saw some really cool experimentation with linseed oil, so I got some of that as well. Palette knives, and then a jar or something to clean your brushes with. Okay, now that we have an underpainting done and it's nice and dry, we can go ahead and put some of the oil sticks on top of it. I'm going to be wearing some gloves because the oil paint seems to be difficult to get off of your hands. What I want to do for this first layer is really kind of do a thin layer of some of the base colors that I want to come through. Then we'll be working with some of the mixed colors that we have here. With these, you want to make sure, if you want to kind of open them up, you kind of just open them, slide them up, and then you have to actually kind of peel off. There will be a layer here of dry paint on the outside, and you want to peel that off to be able to work with it. The two things that appealed to me about the oil sticks were, one, the blendability that comes with oils. So I'm outlining all of my main colors with white, so I'll be able to blend those colors once I add them easily. The second is being able to use them kind of like an adult crayon and just take them directly to the canvas. So I'm scribbling away. I personally decided that I wanted to kind of block in my main colors where I just wanted to draw on the canvas like a crayon, so I went ahead and filled in some of those colors straight from the crayon. It's white, there's some purple, there's some kind of a phthalo blue type color that I smushed in here, and I put all of that in first. Now that's not the way you need to do it. You can do it any way you want, but that's how I chose to do it. So after I blocked in all those primary colors straight from the stick, I did want to mix a few colors up. And that's the beauty of these, is that you can use them just like oil paint too. So by peeling off and then taking the fresh parts of the oil stick, you can just mix these together to get new colors. They are more dry than oil paints, obviously, because they're kind of a waxy crayon, but after you get them moving around, they do kind of come back to life. If they're still too thick to use them, from what I saw online, you've got the two options. You could thin it down with Gamsol, which is probably not the best way to do it, but you can also add the linseed oil to give it a little bit more looseness to it to use it. This will be obvious to oil painters, but it wasn't to me because I am not. But using linseed oil in the colors increased the drying time tenfold. The first thing I did was take a pretty sturdy brush and smudge some of those areas where I had blocked in colors as well as blocked in the white on the outsides to get kind of a blending effect that I was hoping to get with oil paint. Then these little loops were kind of calling me, so I would drag from the darker colors out into the white in these little loops. And I don't know why I did this, but it felt right, so that's what I did next. And yeah, everything is still nice and wet, and I can do kind of whatever I want to with it, because it's still movable, because it's oil. Then using all those colors that I had mixed up on my palette, I kind of started adding them in, just using that brush, placing them in areas, and it does make for kind of lovely fluffy bit blending. I don't know if that makes sense, but I had a lot of fun experimenting with these. These oil sticks are definitely worth, I don't know, playing with, because there's a lot of versatility in them. I was surprised at the number of colors I could actually blend with them. I really liked the fact that I could just straight take the crayon to the canvas. There's something kind of fun about that as well. And the other thing I did was I used these like really fluffy brushes I have. They look like makeup brushes almost. And I couldn't believe how fine of blending I could get with these fluffy brushes. If you have a fluffy brush recommendation, let me know. These ones were Fine Touch ones from, or Master's Touch from Hobby Lobby, and a lot of the bristles fell out. I don't usually have that much of a problem with that brand with bristle fallout, but these in particular were horrible even before I cleaned them with the Gamsol, because for a while I thought, oh, maybe it's because I, introduced that Gamsol in there and it. But that shouldn't have happened. They were made for oil paint. Either way, if you've got a recommendation, let me know, because I really liked how I was able to kind of blend out just very finely. I liked that ability to work between the crayon and the brush, and yeah, I don't know. I think that these are a great way to get started with a new medium. They're really unique. I've actually had these, I'm editing this video about 1.5 years after I filmed it, and I rechecked on my paint sticks, and sure, there is a film over them, but they're still very viable for use. Another thing that will be no new news to oil painters, but is different for me, is coming back a day or two later. Notice my hair and outfit has changed a bit. And while things are drier than they were when I worked on them initially, there's still some movability. And that's really different for me. So yeah, I had fun playing with these oil sticks. I was surprised by the amount of pigment I could get from them, as well as their versatility. And for a $35 student kit, I think that's pretty good. So here's where I left it. I really liked the end result of kind of the wispiness and how much blending I could get. I did also add a little bit of metallic foil a little bit later on, and I really enjoyed this experiment. If you've tried these, let me know what you liked about them.